So somehow we are already a week into the 4th month of the year. That's crazy, but I'm happy to report that this week was the biggest week in my entire just over a year of reselling on Depop. I am a part-time reseller, full-time stay-at-home mom, and lately over the past month, I've been diving in full force on Depop to try to see how much of an income I can really make to contribute to my family's financial budget. So I'm gonna go through all 24 of my sales from the first 7 days of April and let you guys know what's selling right now, how much for, and how long they're sitting in my shop. At the end of the video, I'll also talk to you guys about some of the tips I'm using both in my listing process and in my sourcing, just what's working right now. And I'm getting this out as soon as I possibly can so you guys have relevant information for your April in reselling. Okay, I'm gonna post little screenshots of my listing so you can see exactly what words I'm using to describe each item. I also wanna give a little disclaimer. I run my shop in this particular way, and that's what works best for me and being boosted through the algorithm. I try on pretty much everything that I am listing. But my entire goal for my shop is for it to look kind of like a Pinterest board. Like you're scrolling through Pinterest, you see an outfit you like, and boom, you can buy it. And that's how I run my business. So that I think is a big part of my success in sales. I did switch for a week. I wasn't like racking up the consistency in that yet. And if I would have stuck with it, it might be successful and more efficient. However, I truly do love the process of trying on clothes and styling things. So that's a part of my process that I am keeping just because I find it enjoyable. And I do think that that's what my shop is built on and that's what works. So I'm not going to change it. First sale of the month, I mentioned in a video that will be coming next week, detailing my whole reselling process. It is a black tee, just a simple black tee from the brand White Stag. It's vintage and it's just a classic 100% cotton piece. I originally listed this for $11, and after less than a week, I accepted an offer for $6.25. My earnings from that sale were $4.87. The next day, I sold a pair of Levi's 721 skinny jeans, and I often get skinny jeans from friends who are doing closet cleanouts, and I know that that's not really in trend on style right now, and I don't pick those up when I'm outsourcing. However, when I do have them, I'm gonna list them, and so I usually list them for a lower price just to get them to move. So these I had listed for $8. They were in good condition, but a really small size. I accepted an offer after about 2 weeks of them being up for $6, and I made $5.07 off of those jeans. That same day, April 2nd, we had a navy baby doll embroidered dress. This is another item that I sourced in my reselling process video that'll be coming soon. And I had listed it for $12 and somebody bought it same day for the listing price, and I made $10.91. Number 4, I sold a Chico's kind of Y2K chunky belt to somebody who is planning on wearing it to Coachella, which is so exciting. I definitely used festival, Coachella as keywords in that listing and tried to post pictures that gave it that sort of image and the style that people wear belts to music festivals, I guess. I had this listed for $16 originally, and after 2 weeks accepted an offer for $10, so I made $8.17 on that. Moving on to April 3rd, I sourced in the same video a blue ombre ruffle mini skirt, Y2K, and had it listed for $15. I got an offer for $10 and accepted, and actually had a really cool conversation with that buyer, so that was so much fun. Jamie, you're a real one. I wish I could travel the world with you. Anyways, I made $7.82 on that item. Number 6, a red fleece quarter zip. This is in the 90s from the brand Casual Corner, and I listed that 4 months ago back during the fall when quarter zips were having a moment, and I initially listed it for $20 because it was in the midst of that moment, and there was the vintage aspects to it. I have it listed for $20, and at this point I'm just ready to get it out of my closet, so I was accepting any offers. Winter stuff is bulky and it takes up room, so I'm just trying to move that right now. I accepted an offer for $5.60, and I made $4.44 off of that. Next up, this is another within 24 hours of being listed sale. I've actually had it in my closet since the winter but it was off season, so I hadn't listed it. And it is this natural woven straw bohemian bag. And I listed it for $10. The shipping was kind of rough. It was a few pounds. So in part of my strategy, I'd rather move things and be able to reinvest that money because my cost of goods is so low. The more things I sell, even if I'm selling it for $5 to $10, that's another 3 to 5 items I can buy and list. So I am just trying to move things. Anyways, I accepted an offer on that bag for $6 instead of the original asking price of $10, and I made exactly $5 off of it. Moving on to April 4th. This is my 8th sale of the month, and it was a burgundy Lake Tahoe graphic tee. This is from my personal family vacation to Lake Tahoe years ago, and I cleaned it out of my closet a year ago, and it was part of the first batch of things I listed on Depop. So after a year, I accepted an offer of $4 instead of the original asking price of $7, and I made $2.92 off of that. Number 9 had a cream with gold metallic woven into it. It's like an open knit mesh tank with cute scalloped edges. This is something I sourced really thinking along the lines of Coachella Music Festival vibes, and I listed it as such with a price point of $10. I accepted an offer for $8 and made $6.09, and that was sold within 24 hours of being listed. Number 10 had this pink floral maxi skirt. Oh my goodness, it was gorgeous, and is a size 3X, so I couldn't hold on to it, but if it was my size, gosh, I would have. I listed it for $14, really using the fairy core floral spring aesthetic keywords in there, and I accepted an offer within 48 hours of listing for $9.80, so I made $8.72. Another thing I sourced in my video. For reference, I, on that trip, got each item for $2, so when I'm making $8, that's a 400% profit, right? That's how that works percentage-wise. Anyways, and especially when they sell within days of listing. April 5th, we started off with a green and blue plaid baby doll dress. This is something I've had in my closet for the past few years, and I just don't really wear it that often anymore. So listed it, and within 3 days, it sold for my asking price of $8, and I made $7.04 off of that sale. And we had something listed fresh, these black Old Navy, well, it's kind of like a charcoal gray Old Navy button-down baby doll tank top, and it's just a size too big for me. I wore it when I was pregnant, and then now I never wear it. So listed that because baby doll tops and dresses, they're gonna sell fast. If you have those, list them. If you don't have those, source them. I listed it for $8 and accepted an offer for $6.80, and it sold in a bundle with this literally a Walmart turquoise waffle long sleeve kind of thermal t-shirt, which was listed 4 months ago for $6, and I accepted an offer for $2.55. Together, those two sales earned me $8.30. We have these Urban Outfitters retro brown and pink print pants. I listed them for $10, and they sold for my asking price, and I made $7.95. Now, if you're wondering, if you're not familiar with the Depop platform, the reason it sold for $10, but I'm only making so much, it's not shipping coming out of it. The buyer pays shipping separately, and I don't pay for any of the shipping. It is fees. So I have my entire shop boosted, which basically gives things an extra push in the algorithm if somebody searches keywords that match with my items, or if they are just typically liking things similar to mine, my posts will be boosted in their feed, and I have a better chance of being bought. So there's also sales processing fees. Those are usually less than $1, and the boosting fees is only 12%. They just bumped up from 8%, I think, and now they're 12%. But that is still significantly lower than a lot of the selling fees on other platforms where it's 20% or more. My 14th sale of the week was a yellow lightweight beachy cotton blouse. I love this, and I was kind of hoping it wouldn't sell so that I could wear it into the spring and summer, but I had it listed for $11 and somebody offered $7.70, and that's $6.81 in my pocket, and I can get 3 more shirts like that for that price. So for 3 days being listed, that is not bad. Next up is a pair of Nike high jump spikes. These were my spikes when I jumped in college, and I didn't, I guess, do too much damage to them. They're still in great condition. So I finally let go of my college athlete days and listed those for $36. I had somebody message me about shipping times, and I was pretty confident they'd be there within a week. So he offered $30, and I accepted that and made $28.23. Those were listed for 2 weeks before selling. That's something that is a specific brand base, like specific buyer gonna be looking for that when you get to things that are sports specific gear. A lot of my shop is just based on style based sourcing and just kind of the vibes and the fits, and I think that's why trying things on really helps, because it helps the buyers get the vision of what they can do with a piece rather than focusing on the brand or the logo. For 16 is this vintage blue kind of grandma top with cool beading embroidery around the neckline. I listed it for $9, and after 1 week, it sold for my asking price, so I made $8.06 off of it. Up next, we have a cream tie front tank. I listed this as like boho fairy cord grail. It's a Charlotte Russe tank top, and it's just got like the V-neck and it ties in the front. It's so cute, flowy, open. I did pictures with a friend, a photo shoot down by the river wearing it, and it is just a gorgeous tank top. It also has lace down the back, and so it is a beautiful piece. So I listed it for $22. That's a style-based find, really has nothing to do with the brand, purely the style. And I accepted an offer after less than 2 weeks for $14.25, and I made $11.38 on that. Number 18 of the week is this ribbed cotton cream short sleeve button up. This is I think size large, extra large, so it fits me very oversized. And I mentioned that in the description because some people see it and expect me to be a size extra large and it be an oversized fit. So I just made sure to clarify things like that when I'm describing the sizes and give reference. If it's a maxi dress or a midi, I give reference for how tall I am so people can kind of picture what it would look like on their height, if it's going to reach the floor or not. So this one I did mention that I am a size small wearing it, even though it's listed as a size extra large. I got an offer after it was listed for 2 weeks, and they offered $9, so I accepted it, and I made $6.96 on that, just under $7. All right, still on April 6th here, we got another bundle. This one was 3 tops, and I was super excited because, again, we had one top that had been sitting for so long, and the other one had literally been listed for 2 or 3 hours. Start out that bundle with this kind of burgundy rust Target, just a basic, nice fitted t-shirt. I had that listed for $8 originally, and it was up for 7 months, so I accepted an offer for $5.31. The second piece had been listed for less than a week, and it was this boho blue tank top with a tie front, very Y2K kind of pleats, just a flattering, it could be business casual or it could literally be yoga or nap time type of shirt. I listed it for $10 and sold it for $8.50. The third item in the bundle was a green and cream Coldwater Creek tank. I bought this while I was pregnant to wear like just as a layer going to work, and thought it was just like super mother of me. Just the, pretty bland, not bland, like I say that in the most loving way, earth tone, neutral, modest tank. And then I just slowly have worn it less and less as I've acquired other tank tops that I love for the summertime. So I put this in my pile to list, and when I go to take a picture of the tag, I realize it is 70% silk, 30% cotton. So I think that was the major selling point on this one. Accepted an offer of $9.35, down from my $11 asking price. Altogether, those 3 tops earned me $21.57. I do have a deal on my shop right now. It's a setting you can set up for your shop overall, where if people buy more than one item, it'll be a bundle and they get 15% off their entire sale. You can adjust it to be 5%, 10%, any 5% increment basically. And I would highly recommend setting up your shop this way if you haven't already, just because it is so much easier to move items, and the psychology behind purchasing and online buying, you're more likely to buy 2 things if you think it's a better deal than buying 1. So I love when I get a bundle. It takes a little bit of extra money out of the profit, but I am moving more than 1 item, and all in all, I'm making more money than if I just sold 1 item. All right, we are on to the final day of the week, yesterday, and we had 5 sales. So up first was this chartreuse tie-back strapless top. It was from, I don't remember the brand, it's like a boutique California trendy brand. I listed it for $14. It's got this beautiful satiny material, a perfect like grippy line across the top so it doesn't slide down. And I picked this up thinking I found solid gold, and then I listed it and it got barely. 2 weeks, accepted an offer for $11.20, so I made $9.23 on that sale. Up next is the retro print blue Hawaiian shirt by button down. This is a vintage piece. I couldn't find too much information about the brand, but it's called like authentic ballistic wear, and I thought that was so cool. It has shoulder pads and just the coolest funky print. I listed it for $12 and accepted an offer for $9 after it had been up for just 2 days. So I made a total of $8.17 off of that sale. Immediately after that, I sold a periwinkle Hollister button-down cardigan. It's got the scoop neck. It's the type of thing that I would have gone crazy for in the fall, but I kid you not, I went back and forth on whether or not to get this in the thrift store so much. I actually think I put it away and then came back the next day. I'm not sure, but I was deciding whether or not to do that, and I sold it within 5 days of being in my shop. I listed it for $7 and accepted an offer for $5.50, so I made $4.13 on that sale. Last but not least, we have this pair of Saucony sneakers. Saucony? How do you say that brand? I'm not 100% sure. I bought these for my husband and he never wore them. I thrifted them for super cheap, so my feelings weren't hurt. And I listed them, and after 1 week, I got an offer of $11 compared to my original asking price of $14. So I accepted and made $8.50 in just a week on those shoes. I have more sales that have come in today, the 8th, but I'm just gonna leave it to the first 7 days of April because wow. I actually forgot to add all that up. Otherwise, I'd have like a moment where I tell you the grand total. Here. I'm gonna just have my friend who edits these. That's how much I made in the first week of April, y'all. It has been a very fulfilling and very promising week. I hope you guys can take some notes from what is selling right now, what keywords I'm using to sell those. Always, 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 if you are listing on Depop, fill out the enhance your listing section of things and make sure you add style. If it is vintage, put vintage. If it is from the 90s or the 2000s or modern, make sure you put that in there. And then it has all the different aesthetics, like it says like gorpcore, streetwear, avant-garde, I don't know, boho, retro, minimalist, preppy, twee, whimsigoth, fairy core, cottage, all of those things. Find the 3 that align most with your piece, and if you're not sure, do a Google search of each one. That is something that I did for the first 6 months of selling on Depop. I'd be like, wait, what's that one again? Like, I need a 3rd keyword for this outfit. What does it fall into? And I would just search all the ones I didn't know until I have gotten more comfortable with what each aesthetic is. It truly does not matter how many views something gets. If you are tagging it with the trendy things and it's getting eyes on it, but those eyes are not at all interested in buying your product, you're still not gonna make any money. So being specific, and if you have materials, that's another way I source, is looking for things like cotton, silk, linen, not so much polyester, or acrylic, or rayon or nylon, but like those natural fibers are such a good selling point. Doing hashtag sustainable, hashtag natural fibers, mentioning the materials when they are good materials. Those are some items or some tips that I would highly recommend in order for your shop to increase in profit. I think one of the biggest keys in me having such a big pickup in sales this week was being consistent with my listings. I have been posting at least 5 listings every day, and I start with a couple in the morning, and I usually post a couple more throughout the day. And I think that not only gives buyers more options of things to buy, because I'm now listing over 30 items a week, I am also boosting the algorithm, showing the Depop platform that I am a consistent seller. I'm here and I'm going to keep selling, and so they can send people to my shop, and those people will be coming back to the app to see what I'm selling. So I do think that is also really important. Even if you're just listing 1 or 2 things a day, you will see such an increase in traffic. And it's not just the things that I've been listing recently. As you can see, a lot of these things go by fast, but that's not 40 sales. So there are some things that I listed this week that haven't sold, and things that I listed months ago that did sell. So it just helps in general. Get your products, get your clothes in front of more people, so you have a higher likelihood of making sales. Alrighty, well, if you guys are interested and you would like to start this sort of thing on your own, or you're looking to kind of revamp your reselling process, stay tuned, because next week's video is a reselling process video going from start to finish. How I source, how I take pictures, how I list and ship, all of it. I'll be going into detail in a video so you guys can learn more from me. And there's honestly so many ways to do it, so many different business models. So check out some other YouTubers as well. I love watching Trash Panda's Thrift. Kaylee Elaine also has really informative videos about what's selling right now and what brands to look out for. I love watching Rebecca Allison's videos on turning $5 into, I think her goal is $10,000 right now, and she's over halfway there. So that is crazy and so motivating, so inspiring. You just get a better eye of what to look out for when you're outsourcing and how to go about listing everything. It's not too late to start. It's never a bad time to start. Just start with what you have. You literally need $0 to pull something out of your closet and list it online. All right, I hope you guys have a fabulous week. And if you're a reseller, may all of your sales be wonderful and profitable this week.